Well, happy Easter, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday morning meditation. Um, Today's topic, because it's Easter, is about what happens when we die and what truly is resurrection. You know, as a 5-year-old boy, my grandfather died, and like a lot of small children, I had questions. Where did he go? Was he coming back? Would I ever see him again? And I think we've all had those questions from time to time. What happens when we die? Brother Norm told those folks that were close to him as he was approaching the time when he would leave his body. He said, "I'm not going anywhere." In other words, the astral dimension that our astral causal bodies will go to is right here. The problem is we can't see it because the astral dimension is a different vibration that doesn't match our vibration at this time. Swami Kriyananda, who was at Mount Washington at the same time Brother Norm was once asked, "What happens when you die?" And he said, "Nothing happens when you die." He explained death as walking out one door into another room. Well, today we celebrate an event that occurred 2,000 years ago, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. Now, he was crucified, he was killed, he died, and he was buried. And then 3 days later, he showed up again. He created a new body, and he dwelt with his disciples, and he spent something like 40 days with them, teaching them. So the words Christos anesti, as we say in the Greek Orthodox Church, or he is risen, mean a lot to us, because the fact that he went through and showed us resurrection tells us that death is not the end, that consciousness continues beyond the grave. And that's why the Apostle Paul said, "Where's thy victory, O death? Where is thy sting?" Because there really isn't death. Our self, our consciousness is immortal. This is the good news of Christianity today. However, the story of the resurrection is not complete in Christianity today. Jesus appeared to Babaji about 150 years ago, and he asked Babaji to send a teacher to the West, saying, and this were his words, they do good works in the West, but they neglect the essence of what I taught them, communion with God. And so what had happened in Christianity in the West, as we had this form, we had this dogma, we had beautiful buildings, but they had lost the idea of finding God on a personal level. Well, the teacher that Babaji sent was Yogananda. And Yogananda restored the true teaching of the resurrection, saying that the resurrection was more than just overcoming physical death and the rebirth of a material body. That resurrection could be anything that was beneficial or an uplifting change in our life that would take us away from identification with this physical body and move us toward an increased awareness that in reality, we are spirit. We're part of Christ consciousness. In other words, if we understand the lesson of resurrection, it means for us that every test we go through in this life that we pass, we go through a resurrection where we've overcome something and uplifted ourselves to a higher level. Eventually, resurrection does not mean only resurrection of the body, but the ascension of our soul, our astral and causal bodies, to live in immortality in the oneness of spirit. That's why the Apostle Paul said, "I die daily." And what he meant was, as the old patterns of behavior were corrected and overcome, he was resurrected each day to a higher consciousness. That's the true meaning of resurrection. I want to share in closing this quote, which I think is apropos for today, for Easter, from Paramahansa Yogananda. He said, "Therefore, pass this Easter, at least a few hours of it, in lifting your consciousness from the domain of matter into the vastness of silence within your own temple and commune with the risen Christ there. Rise above body consciousness. Resurrect yourself from the tomb of ignorance. Sit on the throne of Christ consciousness and say in realization, I and my Father are one." Blessings to you and your families for a joyous Easter. And please join me in prayer. O Divine Father, Divine Mother, our friends, companions, the saints and sages of all religions, we implore thee, bring to us a new meaning for the resurrection. Help us to understand what Jesus Christ did 2,000 years ago. And Divine Mother, protect us. Protect us from the fear that is around us in this nation today, and protect us from health concerns. This is our prayer. Amen. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Nothing on earth can hold me. Rise, O my soul, in freedom. Rise, O my soul, in freedom, nothing to fear anymore. Rise, O my soul, in freedom.